They say if you want to get the pulse of what's going on in the country, go to a barbershop. So that's what we're doing. Tonight on Whiskey Business, we are at the Olde Village Barbershop tonight. Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, masked up for a reason, because tonight I am getting a haircut at a barbershop. A barbershop, yeah. Something that more recently has come into vogue a little bit, as people have been wanting a little taste of old school, but something for some people that has been around a long time. When I was a kid growing up in Steubenville, I used to go with my grandfather down to the barbershop where he would get a haircut. Why? I don't know. He was mostly bald and had a little bit of hair on the sides, but I guess whatever he had, he liked to make sure it was nice, neat, and tight. But I think the real reason he liked going to the barbershop was so he could talk and discuss the issues of the day, what was going on in our little town of Steubenville, what was going on in the country, sports, politics, what was going on at the mill. My grandfather was retired, but he had great stories about his adventures in the mill, and sometimes he would listen to those who were still working at the mill commiserate about their jobs and so forth and so on. It was a place where people could come and meet and greet and unite and also disagree. They say if you want the pulse of how people feel, just sit in a barbershop all day, where you'll get so many varied opinions and ideas and thoughts about what's going on in this world, how to make this world a better place, what's wrong with this country, what's good with this country, and where the hell this country is going. They'll tell you each and every opinion, each and every different way. That's how I remember it as a kid. And it's still going on today. We are at the Olde Village Barbershop, where this gentleman behind me, is he behind me?
I'm behind you
Thom
now.
Checkler. The Olde Village Barbershop is where we're going to be doing our podcast tonight and talking about that very thing. Does it still exist? Does the barbershop still have the pulse of the country with everybody that comes walking in here over the course of a day at the shop? We'll find out. Our guest bottle tonight, I got it in honor of you, by the way. Thom Checkler, I got us a bottle of Tom Foolery out of Cleveland, Ohio, actually Burton, Ohio. We'll tell you more about the guest bottle here in a second, but we'll let Greg Hansberry do the business. And yes, as you can see, we are masked up and doing everything we have to do for the COVID protocols. It'd be nice to take this off, but we're doing the smart thing and the safe thing.
That's right. We don't want the barber police.
We don't want the barber
barging
police
in on us.
We don't want the barber police. A little business before we start, Mr. Hansberry.
Whiskey Business is a podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey.
Yes.
Subscribe on your favorite podcasting app if you haven't already done that. SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Spotify, Amazon now. I think Disney Plus. We're finishing up some last minute paperwork for that.
For Disney Plus,
yeah, we'll be there soon.
If not our own show, we're going to be on season 3 of The Mandalorian.
That's right. Yeah.
No, we're not.
John Whitney doesn't care for that joke. Don't make light.
Don't make light of The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. We're also on YouTube. Speaking of John Whitney, does a great job videotaping this, and this is such a cool scene. This is classic middle America barbershop. So Check us out, Whiskey Business, YouTube with Dino Tripodis. Subscribe for us there, and you can go and check out through all the archives of all of our episodes. On Instagram, like us there, please, and Facebook, share, and also one of the most important things Whiskey Business we have is word of mouth. So share with your friends who like podcasts, who are whiskey enthusiasts like us, or people just who enjoy just a good conversation, because that really goes
over a good
way.
pour.
That's
I
right.
think is what we like to say. Yeah,
that's it. So that without further ado, have at it.
Have at it. And I get a free haircut. I said free. It's probably not a free
Negotiable.
haircut. Negotiable haircut out of it. Tommy, I don't even remember where we first met.
I think we met at Coach's Bar and Grill.
Coach's Bar and Grill, and we come from the same Well, first of all, I don't want it short. I just want to dethatch it a little bit and take out some of the.
Yeah.
Do you listen when people tell you that?
Dethatch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you,
Yeah.
you do exactly what
Sometimes
they say?
people just say, "Hey, do what you want to do." It's kind of like barber's choice,
Right.
You know, they trust me and say, you know, do
And
what
they
you want to do.
They just come in and say the
Yeah.
usual.
So a lot of the older guys, you know, you say, "Hey, trim it up," and they'll say, "Do you know the usual? Get it
Yeah.
off the ears." The older guys are kind of simple, you know.
Right. Right.
They like it, you know, nice and tight off the ears and
Mm-hmm.
not too high in the back, but you know, clean you up a little bit.
How long you been cutting hair?
I graduated high school in '78, went to barber school in '78, and was actually licensed by the state of Ohio in 1979.
So wait, you got out of high school and went right to barber
Went
school.
right to barber school.
Now, is this a family profession? Was your father?
Yeah, my father was a barber.
Oh, wow.
And I went to the Ohio State Barber College. Don't forget that.
How was their football team?
I was a walk-on. I was in scholarship. No, actually, I graduated on the honor roll. And
They have an honor roll? How do you?
No, not in barber school, in high school.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say how you.
And I got a merit scholarship to barber school, and I walked in, and I told my dad, I said, "Dad, I got a merit scholarship to barber school, and they're going to give me like $4,000." He goes, "You got to be shitting me." He goes, "Imagine what you could have done if you really would have tried." I'm like, you know, I don't want to push anything.
Did your father push you into that profession?
I always admired what my dad did. I started in his barbershop shining shoes when I was 7 years old.
Where was that shop?
It was in Wellsville, Ohio.
Wellsville. Because I say we're both from the valley.
Yeah. I was born in East Liverpool, Ohio,
I'm sorry.
and grew up in... You're sorry. Well, you can smell the river on both Dino
Yeah, I
and
know.
I. We're river rats. But I grew up in Wellsville. And, you know, back then, you know, like what you were talking about, the heartbeat of the barbershop.
Right.
In the community and the world, in the nation, you know, where guys would go and just hang out and bullshit and listen and talk. They talked about sports, they talked about religion, they talked about politics, they talked about each other's wives, they talked about each other's girlfriends, you know, all that stuff.
Right.
But you know, the one thing I learned that was really important is everybody has an opinion.
Right.
And you don't have to blow out somebody else's candle to make yours shine brighter. And I learned that a long time ago.
That's a great quote. Where'd you,
Yeah.
Is that? I never heard that before.
You can use it.
I can use it.
Yeah.
Don't have to blow out somebody's.
You don't have to blow out somebody else's candle to make yours shine brighter. Because in a barber shop, everybody should have an opinion. Everybody should be able to talk.
Right.
You know, you don't like asparagus? I'm not going to slap you and hate you because you don't like
Get out of my
asparagus.
shop.
Get the hell out.
We're broccoli people. Get out of here.
You know? But
With your goddamn asparagus.
you know, it's like Jesus Christ. Why can't we all just agree to disagree? We can't do that anymore. And here in the barbershop, and at the Olde Village Barbers, we still do that. Everybody gets to talk and everybody has an opinion. You know?
Does it get heated?
Well, it does.
I mean, it has to have gotten heated over
It has
over
gotten
time
heated.
with
and
various
I think
things.
through the years, I've had 2 times where it's become confrontational, where they got in each other's face, and I just cut it. I said, "Hey, guys, no. We don't fight in here. If you want to fight, go outside, but you ain't going to fight in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is my establishment with my brother. We're not going to allow that." And most of the time, they're like, "Hey, you know, you got to respect." It's like on The Sopranos. Don't disrespect the Bing.
Right.
know?
Not in the Bing.
Not in the Bing. Don't disrespect it. So, you know, that's always been a good thing for us to do and make people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So
I asked you how many years you've been doing this?
I have
40?
been doing this,
Going on
well,
40?
42 years. I went to barber school in '78, and I haven't stopped since.
Did
Now, I
you?
was in the restaurant business with a couple of guys too, but this is what I do. This is my living.
Yeah.
So,
Any regrets?
any regrets?
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
no, I love my job. You know, a lot of guys, they get up, they go, shit, I got to go to work today.
right?
You know, I get up, I go to work, and, you know, my buddy always made fun of me. He goes, man, you got the best job. You come in, you grab the newspaper, you go in the bathroom, you take a shit, you come back out, you grab a cup of coffee, and you say, who's next? You know, it's kind of like, hey, we're going to, you know.
But here's the thing, you know, and I'll make a very loose comparison to what you do and to what radio was for me. Yeah, you come to the barbershop every day. I went to the radio station every day, but every day, even though we had the same job, every day was markedly different as to what you were going to talk about and who you were going to talk to. Every day there was something. So, I mean, that's kind of, you know, even though you're cutting hair every day, the interaction is not the same day in, day out, right? I mean,
No. I mean,
right.
like today after the debate.
Oh my God, the debate.
The debate.
the debate, the debacle,
You know.
is what I called it.
A
Yeah.
couple of jackasses up there fighting with one another.
It was ridiculous.
Oh,
I don't care what
God.
side you're on. It was a shit show.
Yeah, but you know that's what we talked about. And you know, like maybe tomorrow because the Steelers aren't playing this Saturday because of the testing of the positive on the Titans.
Right.
Well, we'll talk about the Steelers. You know, hey, they got a bye this week or whatever. They have to figure that out. But every day's different.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even though, you know, you say, oh man, I got to get up, I got to cut hair, but you're cutting hair, but you're not, but you're cutting other things too, man. You're getting into the meat of the world.
Yeah.
In the opinions of everybody.
Well, I mean, like you were on the radio, but you were on for like what, a couple hours. I got to stand here and entertain for 8-10 hours a day.
Right.
And the old feet hurt. You sat on your ass. I stood up.
How do you know? How do you know I sat on my ass?
Holy, come on. You ain't like Dan Rather standing up, you know?
I haven't told him
I
anything.
did sit on my
Did you
ass.
sit on your
I
ass?
did. You know, in the beginning, I stood a lot, but
Yeah.
towards the middle and the end, I said, "Screw it." I sat down a lot
With your feet up.
with my feet up. Yeah, and would bitch over the fact that the microphone didn't just quite get there. It wasn't long enough.
He's
Can
not
you
lying.
pull that in
Yeah, just a little bit more.
I'm having a
that's
hard
funny.
time stretching.
That's funny. So your dad was a barber, and
Yeah,
was
my dad was a
And was
barber.
his dad a barber?
No, his dad was a bootlegger.
Okay.
He blew up in a whiskey still.
Oh no shit.
Actually, he saved. The still caught on fire. It was on 2nd Street, as the story goes.
In Wellsville.
In Wellsville. And the basement caught on fire, the still. And they had the little manholes back
Right.
then, you know, those. So my grandpa went down, and there was a guy, can I mention names?
You can mention names.
Joe Arcaraji.
Joe Arcalaji.
Arcaraji. Okay. He was sleeping in the basement because he drank too much cassette. And so my grandpa picked him up and pushed him out the manhole. And my grandpa was a big guy.
Right.
You know, he was kind of heavy, ate too much pasta and bread. And he got stuck in the manhole, and the still blew up and blew his legs off.
Oh, man.
So he didn't die with his boots on.
That's funny. Careful. Yeah, I just told him I wouldn't knock that over.
Man down.
And I did. I got it. I saved it.
There goes $300. That'll be on Dino's.
Oh, yeah, trust me.
Credit on that one too, huh?
Yeah, he says
But,
I break it, I bought it.
Yeah. There was a lot of fun in the barbershop where my dad had, and he also barbered with his brother Jim for
Wow.
years, and then he went off. But now I still barber with my brother Jim.
That's crazy,
we have
man.
been in the same room. Well, I started here in '86. He was here before me. I was in Westerville from '80 on. And there's been a couple of, knockdown, drag-out fights that we've had with one another.
Right.
But you know, that's what brothers do.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, to grow up together, to
Yeah.
work together,
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
I think my mom and dad was pretty happy that we did, stay together all these years.
Is it just you two, or there's sisters? Or
It's
other-
just us two. I've had my daughter work here.
No,
for
I mean
a
as
little
far as your immediate family. Like,
Oh, I have another brother.
You have another brother?
He's an older brother, Gary.
he didn't go. He didn't.
He was a smart when he went to college and became a teacher. He's retired now.
Okay.
You know, so, but yeah, it's I've been happy with what I do. When you stand on your feet all day, they hurt
Yeah.
at the end of the year. But I got special shoes.
Of course you do.
Yeah, everybody.
yeah.
Everybody has that.
Did you get special shoes right from the get go,
No.
or did you have to? Hey, I'm gonna need some special shoes.
Well, you learn. Can you put your head down, please?
I can.
You learn over the years. You don't cut hair in penny loafers.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have something supportive, and I wear these special Hoka tennis shoes. Some nurse turned me on to them. They're
Nice.
like walking on marshmallows.
Nice. Oh,
They're expensive, but
I don't cut hair, but that sounds nice.
you ought to try a pair.
I
What size
will.
you wear?
Yeah. It depends. I got a wide arch.
You got a wide arch.
Yeah, 10 and a half, sometimes an 11, depending on the
Whiskey
shoe.
Business brought to you by Oka orthopedic
by-
shoes.
Big Italian family, right?
Yeah.
Both sides?
Yeah, both sides.
Both sides?
I think my dad came from, let's see, there were, 5 boys and 3 girls, which I had 5 boys and 3 girls.
Wait a minute. You got 8 kids?
I got 8 kids.
You got 8 kids?
8 kids.
I knew you had a lot of kids. I didn't know you had 8 kids.
I got 8.
What the hell?
Yeah, I was 8 before I was 7. Yeah, I got 8 kids.
Wow.
I got a lot of kids. I had so many kids, I had my own school,
No kidding.
you know.
That's crazy. That's just.
And then
did you want 8 kids?
Did I want
I
to?
would think after 4 you would know.
Yeah. If you met my ex-wife, I didn't marry her for her cooking.
Wow. 8 kids, ranging ages what now?
37 down to 16.
Jesus, Tommy.
Yeah. I got a lot of kids.
Yeah. No wonder you're still cutting hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons.
Speaking of which, before COVID, this place, I would pop in every once in a while and just say hello and whatnot. But there was always people seated, always people waiting. How has the whole COVID thing affected? I know for a while there, you guys weren't allowed to cut hair at all.
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh. Well, after the first 2 weeks, I got a lot of stuff done around the house. My honey-do list kind of diminished. But thank God for golf. I got to play golf. But
Right.
It sucked because I didn't have any unemployment. I was denied unemployment. And I had to jump through loops to get money from the Huntington Bank. And finally, I just gave up. So I managed and got through it because I had some savings. But it was horrible, And every day you're watching DeWine, you're like, okay, maybe this is the day he's going to release this. He's going to release this. And then all of a sudden he did. So, but it was hard, really hard.
I mean, I can't imagine doing something. What are you open 6 days a week?
6 days a week,
6
closed
days a
on
week?
Sundays.
Yeah.
Kind of like Tom Raper, Indiana. Closed Sundays.
Open 6 days a week, and then all of a sudden, just
Yeah.
you do on a regular basis is just cut off. I mean, that's for anybody, but especially this type of business.
Yeah. That sucked.
Were you getting calls from people saying, "Hey,
Oh
Tommy,
my
can
God!
you cut my hair? Can you cut my
buddies
hair?"
were like, "Come on!" I actually had somebody call me and say, "I'll give you $200 if you cut my hair." And I'm like, "Look, dude, I can't cut your hair."
Right.
He's like, "Just you can come to my garage." I'm
Black
like,
Market Barbershops tonight on Whiskey Business.
if I cut your hair, that means I got to cut everybody.
Right, because that's going to get out.
Yeah.
Who cut your hair? Tommy did. That son of a bitch. I asked him to cut my hair.
Dirty bastard.
Make more money during the lockdown.
Right. Well,
Oh, it was horrible.
and I know, and I'm sure some people were cutting hair. That shouldn't have been cutting hair.
Oh, there
Cutting
was
in
quite
their
a few of them that were cutting hair.
cutting hair in their basements and
Yeah.
whatnot. That's crazy.
Kitchen cutting.
Kitchen cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's up to everybody else. If they
Who
want.
cuts your hair?
I cut it myself. It ain't like there's a truckload of fucking
Well,
things to do
I'm
with
just
my
saying.
head. Look,
I know, but I'm just saying.
No, my brother has cut my hair, but
Yeah.
I just buzz it. It's I don't have that much hair, so. But I just take a clipper blade, and put an attachment on it, and cut it. So.
What do you do on the days where you just don't feel like talking?
Oh no, you don't have those days.
No, I'm saying, but don't you wake up on any given morning and just say, "Man, I'm in a bad mood."
Well, when you're extremely hungover, you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus, grimy, this is gonna hurt today.
Right?
You just coffee up, and your customers will get you going. But there are days if you don't feel well, like if you're sick, just in passing, you got a cold. You're like, man, and your customers can tell, and you can always tell the customer that doesn't want to talk. He'll come to the chair with a magazine or a newspaper. That's his time. He just wants to relax, and he wants to read the magazine, and you just ask simple questions. Hey, how's it going? It's real simple. You don't get into these big detailed conversations with him.
Right.
So, but most of the time, I probably have a problem of not shutting my mouth enough because I like to talk, and I love little kids. They come in, they're in such touch with reality. You just have so much fun with them,
Right.
and they're easy, because they don't complain. It's the only bad thing is you got to fight their head because you say hold your head down, then they look up. Hold your head down, look up.
I do that.
If God would have give a barber 3 hands, it would have been nice with little kids in the chair. You'd be like, hey, you could hold your head with one hand and then cut with the other 2. But I really enjoy the kids.
Yeah.
Like you were talking earlier about the pulse and how people would go to the barbershop and just, even if they didn't need a haircut,
Right.
They'd just come in and hang out. We have that.
I would imagine so. There's a long bench over there. I imagine it's not all just for customers.
Yeah. And the sacred thing about a barbershop, especially a men's barbershop, and I do women's hair too, because I worked in a styling salon for about 7 years. But the sacred thing about the barbershop is where young boys come in with their dad, and they learn to become men. They watch men be men. And we have the old saying in here when a bunch of men are in here,
Right.
earmuffs, because you got kids in here.
Right.
You got to watch your language because sometimes, the Pope wouldn't be really happy to hear some of the language in here. But, that's the cool thing about where they see their dads will come in and have a beer and they'll talk about football, or they'll come in and, they hear them talk about, politics, or they hear them talk about sports.
I would imagine that there'd be a time where if the kid was observant on any level whatsoever, that he probably sees his dad almost in a different light.
Yeah.
When he comes into a place like this, because
he feels he's more relaxed.
he's more relaxed,
Yeah.
he's comfortable, and
Yeah.
he's himself.
Until we charge him.
Until that happens.
$25 for this? You just barely cut it. For God's
because
sake.
I remember my grandfather, he said he was the boss of the house, but when he was at the house, my grandmother ruled the roost, right?
Come
Yeah,
on,
I mean-
we all know the pussy's undefeated. Come on. Jeez.
Right? She ruled the roost. But when he was at the barber shop, and he'd be talking about, he'd be all high and mighty about how things were going at home and so forth and so on.
And then the barbers would go, hey, that guy's so full of shit, we know.
But they were all probably all full of shit
Well,
on some level.
Yeah.
On some level. Hey, when your dad was cutting hair back in the day, and that part of the valley, as if we talk about a little history and whatnot, I mean, we were known in Steubenville as being Little Chicago, and all the little smaller towns and around.
Yeah.
Did your dad get mob people coming into the shop?
Sure.
To get their hair cut?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he the go-to barber for that?
Well, back in the day, like the barber, there was like a code that guys would say to the barber. My dad would sell condoms because they were embarrassed to go to the drugstore to buy condoms. And there was like this code, He'd say like, I need 2, I need 3, and he sold condoms too. But it was, because we found them. What are these? Banana canners. I'm back then in the valley where we grew up.
Right.
The steel mills, the potteries were gone. You could make a living and take care of your family.
Right.
We need to get that back in this country. We really do.
Is that a topic of discussion that happens here in the shop?
Big talk.
About where we were and where we're at and where we need to go?
Yes.
And do you find that most of your customers or mostly the opinions that come here in the barbershop, do you see people disillusioned or do you see them mad or just mad?
Disillusioned, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't see them say mad, disappointed.
Disappointed is a better word.
Disappointed that.
In what?
In just how America doesn't make the stuff like we used to make. Back then, our uncles always got new Cadillacs every 2 years.
Right.
And they would work in the steel mills, and they would give an honest, day's work, and they took care of their families.
Right.
It's kind of difficult nowadays to do that.
These days especially.
Yeah, it's horrible. Now, we have Worthington cylinders up here, and you have Liebert. There are some places that you can still do something like that. But, we hear out of customers, mom works, dad works, they got $480,000 home, there's 4 cars in the driveway. You got to feed the animal. You got to have money. When we grew up, there was 1 car, right?
Right.
That was it. Hey, Dad, can I use the car? Where are you going? Now, everybody's got their own car.
Right.
That's the difference in kind of like, and you always want your kids to do better than you.
Right, I've always said that. You always want better for them than what you had growing up.
Right.
And I think about some of the struggles that we had growing up. My mom was a single mom, living in Steubenville, and worked for a doctor. She didn't make a lot of money.
No.
But she made sure that we had a new suit at Easter, and and new shoes. And she found a way to get it done. But and then, like I said, you always want to do better than what you had. Sometimes I don't know if better is better.
But nowadays, kids, they turn 16 and they're like, "Where's my car?"
Where? Yeah.
We didn't say that.
No.
We got to go school shopping. And your mom would say, "Okay, this is the budget. This is what you get." Yeah. We're going to Pittsburgh where they don't have sales tax. You'll get an extra pair of jeans. You get 2 pair of Converse. That's it. 1 to play in. 1 to go to school in, keep them clean.
Right.
Your dad always bought them like a size too big, that way your feet would grow into them. You're like, shit.
Right. Planning ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so you grew up that way, but you said it. You got 8 kids.
Yeah.
How'd you raise them?
I worked 2 jobs.
Yeah.
In my 30s, my 40s, well into my 50s.
Did you teach them those same values that you grew up with, or did you cut them a break?
No.
When they turned 16, was one of them asking for a car?
Yeah, they got one. They got one.
Right, so did my daughter.
But it wasn't a new car.
No, of course not.
It
That'd
was
be
a used
ridiculous.
car. It wasn't a Rolls Canarly.
No, not at all.
The next, but
but that's the thing. It's like was there something that?
But they appreciated it.
Did they?
Yeah, they appreciated it.
Okay. All right. So I like to think that my kid appreciated it.
But when you got 8 kids and you got 5 boys, there's a lot of hand-me-downs.
Sure.
You couldn't wear your sister's clothes, or was you older than your sister?
Huh? Yeah.
She could wear your clothes.
Hey, what are you saying? What are you saying?
It's just different. And it's not bad different, but it's different.
Right, it is different.
Yeah.
Think about the stuff that we grew up with and the stuff that they started growing up with, and time changes, technology changes. God, technology's changed so much.
Well, everybody always says that if we had smartphones when we were kids, Jesus criminy,
What would have happened?
We'd have never gone to high school.
What would have happened?
Oh, it'd been crazy.
No, I mean, I don't mean to wax poetic like a couple of old guys, but you know, smartphones. Yeah, we had. I still got my grandmother's rotary dial telephone in the basement, right?
You know, Dino, I hate to change the subject, but you got nice hair.
Oh, thank you.
Except for up the holes there, but you got a
Except
little.
for the holes. You got nice hair except for the holes.
You got some curly hair. It's thick.
It's thick. It's
that
thick in
green-
places. But I recede on the sides, just like my grandfather and my old man.
Yeah.
On the sides a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, where it eventually, you know, it looks like a relief map of South America.
I always have young kids now.
Remember relief maps? When we were to high school, we're gonna make a relief map today, all bulky and paper mache, like.
I always have these young kids that come in now and they're starting to lose their hair and they're like, Tom,
What is that about?
I'm really starting to lose my hair. They're like, is there anything you can put on, you can buy? And I go, you're asking a bald guy? Look at me. I would have hair if I knew that.
Right.
I'm starting to see my gray. I'm getting my gray in my beard. You know?
You got gray?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, we got magic marker right
Oh, there we
Right,
go.
there you go. There you go.
It works just great.
Yeah. How old are you, Tommy?
I am 60. I'll be 61 in
Okay,
February.
that's right. You said you graduated in 78, so I'm just ahead of you. You got way less gray in your hair than I do.
I got less hair.
Yeah, but you still got less gray. Less gray.
Yours turned gray, mine turned loose.
So since you started opening them back up, you know, when they said it was okay, did you fill up quickly? Were people like jonesing to get in here to get a haircut?
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden it was just like, you know,
Yeah.
you went through famine there for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden everybody wanted to get in here and get a haircut, right?
Yeah, when we got the go ahead.
And what was the conversation at that point?
Well, let me get back to, because when we finally got to go ahead, my brother and I came in, and we're always a walk-in barbershop.
Right.
Because the crowd would be in here hanging out. Now you see we got these X's over here, the chairs are turned. I'm only allowed to have a guy here or a woman, a guy there or
Right.
a woman, and you're only allowed to have so many people in here.
Right.
So we went to appointments, and it's worked out pretty good, you know, about every 20 minutes to half hour. I think the first 12 days, I was coming in to work at 6:45, and I was getting home around 8:30 at night.
Wow.
Yeah, I was working like nonstop, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, because I was so backed up, you know, from customers. But what was it with the question you asked me that?
Well, now when they first started filing in, you know, when they first got the okay to come in, was everybody was what was the topic of conversation? Was it COVID?
Oh, they were nervous. You know, they were really nervous. You could watch their body language.
Mm-hmm.
They would come to the front door because we opened in June, and they would look in and they're like, "Can I come in?
Was it okay?
Is it okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, come on in." You know, but most of them would sit outside on the knee wall and wait till the chair was empty because we had to get the Clorox wipes out and wipe everything down.
Sure.
And we had the mask on, but they didn't have the mask on in the beginning.
That's right.
See, the governor made it mandatory afterwards.
Right.
So everybody has to have a mask on now, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that are like, "Hey, man, you can't cut hair with a mask on." I'm like, well, you can. It's very possible. Very possible.
Right.
But they were scared. And, you know, that's what's going on and with some of the testimonies that I hear from the healthcare workers, that they didn't know what COVID was back then.
So you have healthcare workers that get their hair cut here?
Doctors, nurses.
People on the front line,
They're right in there.
right? And what are they telling you?
Well, it's getting better. They're learning. You know, like what we were talking about earlier. Fauci at first was like, "Hey, the mask doesn't work." But now they're finding out the mask did work because we're not swapping spit with one another.
Right.
But the nurses and the doctors that are coming in, and we have so many of them that come in, because anybody who's anybody gets their haircut here, pretty much. you know, you're connected if you come to the Old Village Barbers. That's why I tell these kids, you went to college, you got your master's degree, but you didn't get no degree from the Old Village Barbershop. So sit your ass down.
Right. Yeah.
But they're learning, you know, like that right away. They're not putting them on ventilators. They're giving them oxygen. They learned that you can't put them on their back. You got to put them on their belly. You know, that way their lungs aren't filling up. And they just learn every day more about COVID. And that's why I think it's starting. It's never going to go away. All the doctors and nurses tell us we're going to live with COVID. Hell, we're still living with the Spanish flu. It still exists.
Right.
N1N1.
Yeah, flus don't go away.
Hey, you still get gonorrhea and syphilis. It's still out there.
Speak for yourself. But I get what you're saying. I mean, COVID's not going to go away, and the flu doesn't go away. It comes back every year with a different strain of some sort. It's just how we handle it. How we go forward with it.
We're getting better. But most of those people that are those professionals, in the lack of leadership, like what we were talking about earlier with the shit show that we watched.
Right.
The president and every level, city, state, federal, the lack of leadership. Someone stepping up and saying, put the mask on. Like when your nana told you, that's caca, don't touch it.
Right.
You listen to her.
Right.
You know, now we don't know who to listen to because we hear so many different stories. But when you hear these doctors and nurses telling us that COVID is real, it is real. You know, you hear, COVID's a hoax, and it's all going to go away after the election. Well, so is cancer. It's going to be gone too. You know, hey,
right.
The election will cure everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you tell people that, and they're like, wow. And then when we do have nurses or doctors in here, and there is somebody sitting, and they're telling those, you watch them, they're like, whoa, this guy is on the front line.
Right.
And they're convinced, because that's where that community thing comes in, where they're listening and they're like, hey, this stuff really is real.
Well, let me ask you this, because, and I'm sure over the course of the time since you opened back up, that you've got people that come in here who are firm believers that it is a hoax and share their opinions. And how do you handle that? I mean, do you get argumentative with them? Do you just let them speak their minds? Do you have actual thought-provoking discussions? Do you exchange ideas? Or is it just someplace where no matter what your opinion might be in respects to COVID or politics, you just come in here and vent and you get to say what you want? Or do you ever get to a point where you're saying, you know what? Not in my shop, much like a fight, get out?
No. I've only had 2 people that have come in that wouldn't wear a mask, and I tell them, look, you got to have a mask on to get a haircut, and they're like, I'm not wearing a mask, and I'm like, you got to go. Sorry, it's the rule.
They get mad?
They get pissed.
But
you know what? They come back.
They come back.
You know, especially nowadays, they come back because you know what? You can't go anywhere and get a haircut without a mask.
So
on.
the people that left, that got pissed off in the beginning, came back when we were wearing a mask.
Oh yeah.
Did they say anything?
Well, they didn't beg or grovel or get down on their hands and knees, but they're like, "Hey, I'm really sorry for my behavior."
Okay, they did apologize.
They apologize.
Yeah.
You know, and they come back in. They're like, "Come on in. We don't hold it against them."
Mm-hmm.
You know, but. You know, everybody's so not disenchanted, but I want to say they're so confused. When you see people sitting outside 2 feet from each other, eating chow or having lunch, but I got to put a mask on to go get a haircut.
Right. There's no consistency.
There's no consistency, and that's what they're missing.
But up to the point where you get your food, you're supposed to keep your mask on. Or now that once you're seated, and yeah, I don't know, you know. And you know, my sister lives in Florida, and they just opened up all the the restaurants and bars full tilt down there.
100%.
Yeah.
That's because these businesses, we hear on
I
on
understand.
the news,
It's
one out of every 6 is going to die on the vine.
Yeah, well.
What else can you do? How can you make a living? How are you going to survive? We were fortunate after 40-some years of cutting hair, my brother and I, we had enough clients to keep us going. Now, we lost a shitload of business because the older people did not want to come in at first.
Right.
They were
afraid.
And there were guys that were younger than us. They come in, they look like Albert Einstein. Their hair's gray, and they like, man, I ain't had a haircut since January. I'm like, well, we're here. Welcome back. Without you, we can't make this run.
Right.
And they understand, but a lot of them, they're so used to that heartbeat that you're talking about that this place is filled up. They don't know it's different. But now it is.
It is different.
It's completely different.
And you think it's always going to be an X on the seat?
No.
You think these seats are always going to be turned?
No. We're going to figure this out.
We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, we have enough great minds in this country that once they prove efficacy with some of these vaccines, I think I'll be wearing a mask all winter and maybe well into summer next year.
You think so?
Yeah. I think you will too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all are. So get ready. We may be wearing it longer than that. If we had a crystal ball, we'd know. But, now everybody's got 15 different masks.
Right. Now it's a fashion statement.
Yeah.
You got your basic mask. Like Hansberry's got just the basic one on, but Whitney's got his Cincinnati Reds. I've got my wool removed for whiskey.
Do you drink? I didn't know you drink.
I drink a little. Have you tried it? You've been drinking this? Do you
Tom
like the
Foolery?
Tom
It's
Foolery?
good. It
I'd
tastes
rather
like
have a case of this than a case of clap, I can tell you that.
I think a case of this in the long run will probably be cheaper.
It's funny.
This is really
It tastes like a rye to me. It tastes a little bit like a rye to me.
To you, it should, because there's I think the mash bill has got about 23% rye in it.
There you go.
So
I
this
like
is
it a lot, actually.
this is out of it says Cleveland on the bottle, but I think it's actually Burton, Ohio. And
Anything good in Cleveland, come on. You remember going to the football games at POC, the pride of Cleveland?
oh my God,
We always thought it was the piss of Cleveland.
We'll get into football here in just a second before we. I want to end on a somewhat positive note before. Not that this hasn't been positive. This has been great. But this whiskey, they started off making just Applejack.
Yeah.
Was their trade, and they started dipping in. Tom Foolery, I think, started making stuff in 2008 and actually sold their first products right around 2011. And now they have their bourbons, their rye, gin. Applejack is because they use their own apples up at the apple farm up there. And it's a pretty good Ohio product. This one retails for this is just their regular bourbon, retails for about $38 a bottle. They have a bonded and bond bottle as well. They make it in a pot still, like they do some other cognacs and scotches and whatnot. So they just imagine it being slow cooked instead of distilled. They like to make it the slow and go way, and it's pretty good. You tasted a lot of the apple in this, though,
Yeah,
right?
you can
taste the apple in that.
They're not hints either. You can taste it. People always ask me because they know I'm a bourbon drinker. They're like, "What's your favorite bourbon?" I say, "The one in front of me."
Right, exactly.
It doesn't matter.
There's
all taste
so
good.
many good ones.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah.
But I've had
What's your go-to bottle, though?
Makers.
Makers?
Yeah.
That's your go-to?
Yeah. It's always constant. It's just
consistent.
It's very consistent. Now I do like that Ocean
Jefferson's Ocean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth.
You know, the one that was out at sea,
Yeah,
and gathered all the
it's
the
on the boat,
the ocean and the rocks
yeah.
and the sea salt and so forth. Yeah, that was some
then
pretty damn good marketing right there.
The
Pretty damn
The
good.
Willet. Have you ever had the Willet?
The Willet in the genie bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the I Dream of
Pretty
Genie
good.
bottle.
Yeah.
I got some Willet that's not in the genie bottle that is better than what's in the genie bottle. But Willet, unfortunately, is not available here in Ohio.
Yeah.
So when you get it, you're obviously in Kentucky or someplace else.
Yeah, I had a buddy bring it back for me.
I brought back some too from Kentucky not too long ago. But yeah.
So you're a bootlegger.
Technically,
You're
no, because I'm not selling it.
Well,
I'm not selling it. I would have, but you know what? If I was living back in the day, I would have been on the dark side of things. I think I would have been a bootlegger.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would have been something along
I
those
wonder
lines.
what that stuff tastes like back then. I always thought about that. I said, wonder what kind of product.
Some of it was good. Some of it was poison.
Yeah.
A lot of people died.
Yeah.
You know, bathtub gin. That type of
That's
thing.
like that place down in Cincinnati, the oldest bar in Cincinnati. We went down there. I can't remember. It's Alfred's or something like that. Have you ever been down to Cincinnati? It's like it made it through Prohibition. They've got a bathtub down there where they made booze.
Awesome.
Well,
It's pretty cool.
Well, Cincinnati's got a lot
Yeah.
of history. George Remus
Yeah.
was down there in Cincinnati, and anything close to the river back in the days of bootlegging. You know, you see it was on the river. That's why Steubenville was the little Chicago that it was as well.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
back in the day.
I've been
But
to
yeah.
that place. I forget what the owner or the inventor of the Tommy gun lived there. It's right there in Newport.
Mm-hmm.
But
Really?
yeah, that's the claim to fame. I think it's a concert venue now, but it's
Yeah.
the claim to fame is the
Tommy
guy.
gun means something different than
Yeah,
Tommy.
yeah.
You got it, Tom. You got 8 kids.
I got a Tommy
You
gun.
got 8 kids. You got 8 kids.
Yeah, I got a Tommy gun.
you were definitely loaded for sure.
Hey, I'm Catholic, you know?
Yeah,
Automatic.
That's funny. I'm looking around, man. I'm looking at like when this place first opened up. You just look at the character of this place,
Yeah.
and you can see some of it on camera for those of you who are watching the video portion of this. You know, all the stuff that's been accumulated. Everything's got a story.
Yep.
Every piece up there, every piece of paper
Yep.
has a story.
Yep.
From the children's picture I see up there
Yep.
to the picture of Tressel and what was that? Is that Jack?
Yep.
Jim Tressel and Jack? Yeah.
Yep.
Then I see Steelers. I see Swanee. But I also see Jim Brown. I see the Cleveland. Is this a Steelers shop or a Cleveland
We're like
shop?
Jesus. We love everybody.
You
we
love
try
everybody.
to make our customers feel at home.
Right.
So, and we've got all the football helmets up.
Right.
And there's kids that come in and they're saying, "Hey, I like that. I'll take it down. I'll give it to them." And customers bring other stuff back in, and we put it up. You can see all the golf flags.
Right.
I'm a big golfer,
Yeah.
you know.
And a good golfer, from what I hear.
Decent. Depends upon what day. I think about all the times and all the money I spent on golf. I could have had 5 hair transplants, you know, but
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. It's just like there's a Beatles Let It Be 45 over there. Can
Right.
you see that?
Yeah, I do see it from here.
That's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, you actually still have the little thing that goes over the.
The jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then those gloves next to it are from a professional football player that played for the New England Patriots that come in here. We've had, and there's just, you never know who's going to walk in here.
What's the most amazing person? Who's
Arnold Schwarzenegger came in.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold came in to get a haircut. He said, "You have a beautiful family." He saw my picture.
What made him come here? Who brought him here?
There's a guy that comes in, he still comes in, Woody King, and he runs a company that in Columbus, Ohio, that takes care of
The Arnold.
No, not the Arnold. Just he takes care of real famous people when they come to town.
Nice job.
And he needed a beard trim because he came in for the Arnold Classic, and Arnold come in, and he brought us a poster, and I had him sign it. "Thanks for the haircut. I'll be back." And then Clapton.
Eric Clapton. Wow.
Clapton came in, and the funny thing about Clapton is I had a little bit of a hangover that day because I have what
Is this when he was supposedly living here in Columbus, Ohio?
yeah,
Yeah. All right.
I have what they call a little bit of a drinking problem.
Okay.
Just a little.
Just a little
And
bit.
I went to get coffee across the street, and I come over, and the guy walks in, and I'm like, "Can I help you?" And he get him in a chair, and I'm slugging coffee, and I'm like, damn, you look familiar. You ever been in here before? And he's like, no, this is my first time in. I'm like, I'm Tommy. He goes, Eric, I'm Eric. And I go, God, it's Eric Clapton. In my head, I didn't say anything. But a guy I was in business with, Purdom, that owns the Bag of Nails next door.
Right.
He had a baby the same night that Clapton had a baby.
All right.
So he sent him in to get a haircut because of the pictures. But his mother and father live they live right around the corner.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
He was cool.
So Schwarzenegger, Clapton. How about sports figures?
Earl Bruce used to come in all the time.
You get his haircut here?
Oh, yeah. The funny
Yeah.
thing about Earl Bruce one day, he says, he's talking, and we're like, hey, Coach, how's it going? I don't know why they're making such a big damn deal about this waterboarding shit going down on Guantanamo Bay. You know what's tough? I go, what's that, Coach? He goes, coaching for Woody Hayes. That was tough. But Earl would just tell you how he felt. It would be hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Coaching for Woody Hayes. That's what's tough.
Whole different kind of waterboarding.
I mean, there's been a lot of golfers from
Muirfield?
Muirfield. One day, Frost was in here, David Frost. And nobody knew who he was, because I'm a golfer, and I recognize him, and I get him in a chair, and I'm like, missed the cut. And he looks up at me, and he goes, yeah. So I cut his hair, and he's like, hey, where's a good place to get, a sandwich? And I said, go down to Villanova, get, a little Italian. But, and there's been, I got a buddy that grew up here in Worthington. He caddies for Patrick Cantley. He comes in every year and brings us passes so we can go to the Muirfield, and we catch up and have a good old time with him. But there's all kinds of, and then there's, we're close to the Josephinium.
Right.
So we have a lot of priests. We have a lot of...
Do priests let their hair down, so to speak, when they come in here?
Well, they don't cuss like us, but
Right,
they do. They
but-
don't
but-
talk to
right.
us because, when you're a priest, you learn to deal with social problems.
Sure.
And they bullshit with us, and they like coming in here because they can't let their rosary beads down or anything like that, but
Right.
they can talk to us, and because they see men here, and they can have a good time.
Yeah. We had a Catholic priest on the podcast a while back.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of my favorite podcasts because he was open, he was honest.
Yeah.
And we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was a bourbon drinker.
Well, it was like in the old days, here comes Father Kern, hide the whiskey.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, they're just men. They're people like us. They want to have fun, and they got to get their hair cut,
So you think if you and I grew up back in the day, back in your father's time, do you think we would have been respectable men, or you think we would have been criminals?
Oh,
Honestly.
I think I would have been. That's a good question.
I think it's a good question.
Man, I think I would have been respectable.
A respectable criminal?
Yeah. I think I would have been respectable.
Yeah.
Criminal, maybe. No, I think I would have been a good person. I would have tried.
Yeah.
But those times are different. Our core values and core beliefs are where they are because of our families that we grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
They taught us those.
Right.
Like when I would shine shoes at my dad's barbershop.
Yeah, you mentioned that. How old were you when you started doing that?
7 years old.
Yeah.
And I'd get done, and my dad would say, "Don't tell your mother what you heard at the barbershop today."
Right.
You just kept your mouth shut. You learned that. Simple.
Did you ever tell your mother what you heard at the barbershop? Did your mother ever ask you what they said at the barbershop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pinch.
No.
I wouldn't get sloppy like that and get in trouble.
No.
Because you know what? My dad, it was a money machine. I'd go up there and cut and shine shoes, and I made money. Back then, if you went to work on a Saturday and you worked and you did 10 shines, you made $2. Back then, that was a lot of money.
A lot of money back then. Sure.
Yeah.
For a 7-year-old?
I felt like Tesla back then.
For a 7-year-old? Yeah.
7 years old, but my dad took a cut.
No.
Yes, he did. He taught me a lesson that shoe polish is expensive. You got to buy it. Why would he buy all my shoe polish?
Right.
he taught me a lesson. He would take money out and say, this is what you got to pay for, and for the brushes, and he taught me that.
Did you have a shine box?
Yeah.
Yeah? You still got it somewhere?
No.
No?
It's gone. I wish I did.
Yeah.
But we had a guy that would shine shoes in there, a little kid. Masters was his name. He worked 3 weeks. And he made so much money he retired. Because guys were giving him like $20 because they felt bad for him.
Right.
And he made like $400 or $500. We never saw him again.
One and done.
I think he went and bought a new clarinet and retired.
Are you hiring? You looking for anybody new?
He was in the band
some
at Thomas
work in here.
Worthington. I think he did. He bought a new clarinet.
Yeah. So, politically speaking in this shop, is it pretty much one-sided, two-sided, in the middle? How's it, because politics have to figure huge into a barber shop as far as opinions go. And I'm not going to ask you your politics, and I'm not going to share mine per se, but I'm curious as to, how you deal with the political situation in a barbershop like this, especially in these last 4 years and moving forward, and with everything that's going on. It's got to be a delicate balance for
Everybody
you.
has an opinion.
Right, we mentioned that before.
I think some people need to be convinced either way why they should vote for Trump or why they should vote for Biden. But if you look in our city, in Worthington, there's a lot of Biden signs. We all know that Trump has the worst political hygiene of any president we've seen. I mean,
Okay.
He just says what he wants. There's some people that like it. There's some people that are completely turned off from it.
Right.
Because he just, and that's that New York personality, I think.
Right.
He just rubs some people the wrong way. We're at home and we're watching one of the rallies. And there's this woman that looked at me that was like 65 years old, and she's in the front row.
Right.
And her shirt says, "Mr. President, you can grab my pussy anytime." Now, that's somebody's grandma. And you're thinking, really? You're proud of that? But everybody has that's freedom of speech. They're allowed to do that. I think in this barbershop, there's a lot of times people won't say anything because they don't want to get in the fray with it.
And that's let me do a follow-up question. They don't say anything now. Has it always been that way?
No.
Right.
No.
Right?
They've always spoken their opinion.
And
we've always wanted them to speak their opinion.
They've always spoken their minds in years past, but now everybody stays a little more tight-lipped.
They're afraid. I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid to put Biden signs up around the Trump areas, and I think a lot of people are afraid to put Trump signs up.
Why do you think that? Where's that fear coming from?
Because we've become so tribal. Like I said, you don't like asparagus. Fuck you.
We're broccoli people.
We're broccoli.
Get out of here.
Why do we have to be that way? They should all come to the barbershop, and we'll teach them. We'll teach them lessons of how to hate, but hate with love.
You don't teach them to hate.
We don't.
That's a
I don't
joke.
agree with you, but it's no big deal. I think nowadays we teach tolerance of intolerance.
That's a good point.
We really do. We have so many problems. You need some more?
You give me a little bit more
That
because
comes with a haircut.
we're about to wrap it up. And
We have so many problems.
you get to keep the rest of that bottle here,
Thank
by the
you.
way. That's our. Well, hey,
Hey, I'll tell you, it ain't easy. But we have so many problems, we can't even prioritize them. In Washington, D.C., we can't even say, let's work on unemployment, or let's work on COVID, or let's work on the Russians. There's so many problems that we can't even say, okay, this is number one we're going to work on. We can't fix that, but let's go to number two. We'll fix that. We can fix that. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We can't agree to even work on the problems because they become so complex. Do you agree?
On some levels, I do agree.
Yeah.
I know I watched last night's debate, and I was filled with a sense of disappointment all the way around.
Irritated?
Irritated, I don't know if irritated was the right word. Disheartened, I think, is more. Discouraged.
Yeah.
Was probably the better word. Disappointed, no, because politically speaking, through the years and the decades, I've been disappointed.
Yeah.
With how things have gone.
Yeah.
You know, with certain decisions and outcomes, economies and recessions and so forth. I've been disappointed. I can handle disappointment, but at a time where I think we need more empathy and positivity and need to be lifted up, I get discouraged when I watch something and feel just.
You don't think Biden can do that if he gets elected?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I don't know. I am eternally optimistic and maybe naive on some level, where I say that, you know, whoever leads our country does it to the best of their abilities and in an unselfish way, that where it is country first and not, you know, I'm the best at this. I'm the, you know, that has the country in mind. I mean, that's the way it should be.
Do you think you could run the country?
No, I don't think I could.
I think there's like 15 cab drivers in New York that could do a better job.
I could run the country. I don't think
it's a tough job.
It's probably one of the most difficult jobs in the world. I don't know why anybody wants it. Do I think I could contribute to the running of this country at some point in my life? Sure, but that job itself, man, it's
tough.
It's tough, and it's.
Do you think it's in God's hands? I don't know what your spiritual background is.
No, I'm like you. You're Catholic. I'm Greek Orthodox. We're both forms of Catholicism.
Yeah.
If it's in God's hands right now, his hands are really, really calloused and full. I would imagine so. If it's in God's hands, they're arthritic. He's carrying the load of so much stuff.
Yeah. But here's what I'll say. If it's in God's hands, if Trump's going to be president, he's going to be president. If Biden's going to be president, he's going to be president.
That's in God's hands?
That's not in God's hands, but it's what we got to believe in. I mean, we're going to vote, right? And this is what God's given us. This is what's in front of us.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody says
I have my religious convictions, but I say it's all. You know, sometimes I think when people say it's in God's hands, that's just a quick pass off. That's like I don't want to deal with it anymore. It's in God's hands. Whatever the Lord decides.
You know, Tony Dungy during football.
And I'm not saying in an anti-religious way. I'm just saying, like,
no, I understand.
It's not completely. It's God. Maybe it's in God's hands to guide us and move us in the right directions, and so forth and so on. But to say it's in God's hands who decides who wins the election. No, it's in the country's hands.
It is in the country's hands. I understand that. I want to make it a point to you that I was watching a football game and Tony Dungy made a comment that said, we need to stop fighting ourselves and start fighting the devil, the true devil, to come up with a solution to end this racism and all this stuff that we're seeing, the riots in the streets and everything.
I wish to God we could do that.
There you go. I wish to God. So we're going to throw that on God's hands.
But that's I wish to God.
Yeah,
I can wish to God. I can pray to God.
That's what I'm praying. I look at my Aunt Anna. She would go.
But I'm not gonna. But you know,
I'm going to go to church. I'm going to pray for it. You know, that's all we can do.
Look, I'll leave you with this. You know, throughout this whole COVID situation, things have been tough, and I've had a lot of people close to me going through tough things, and I've gone through some tough things as well. And I didn't go down to the little icons that my mother has set up at the edge of the stairs that she insisted that I have. I put them up there for her, but I also, you know, have taken comfort in them there. When I went down there a few nights ago, and feeling kind of desperate, I'll be honest with you, I didn't say, give me the answers. I didn't say, fix it. What I did say was, if you can, and you have that ability, guide me.
them. Yeah.
Guide me,
Yeah,
guide them.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for a handout.
No.
I'm not asking to fix things I'm not looking for a miracle. But if there is some sort of wisdom and guidance that you can point my way, I'm wide open to that. Help me see. Open my eyes a little bit. Maybe my eyes are closed. Maybe my blinders are on. If they are, move them off to the side. Open my eyes a little wider. Do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to say I say
Well,
it's an expression.
It is. It is an expression.
But for some people, it's a reality.
It's a
flat out conviction.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if God wants this to happen, He's going to happen. It's going to happen. We need love, and we don't practice love.
We need love.
The 3 things that I've learned through COVID is this.
All right.
Okay. People don't want to be told what to do. I'm not putting my mask on. Nobody wants to take the blame, and there's no respect between one another. Go up on the highway and forget to put your turn signal on. People are flipping you off. Get the fuck out of me. I'm like, come on, man. Everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
Be a little kinder to people. Just be kind. It's
I've said it on this podcast before, and I'll say it again because I think it's something that needs to be remembered and constantly addressed. Empathy.
Yeah.
We continue to lose our sense of empathy, and until we start getting some of that back, until we can actually feel, and when I say feel, I don't mean anger. I mean, yes, feel anger, feel rage, but find a way to funnel it with empathy and understanding. Yeah, it's going to be a long haul.
We need to become we again.
That would be a good thing.
That would be good because it says we the people.
Yeah.
And instead of I did this, I did that, I did this.
Yeah.
We need to become we.
All right, man. How's my hair?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You look like a male model.
Don't I get the look in the
mirror?
Oh, you did a nice job.
Yeah.
It's just
You got a lot of hair for a bald guy.
What about one of those little massagers? Come on, give him a little back massage, no?
Where's that? I'm looking in the mirror. Where's that magic marker? Put some of the black back in.
Put a little
Put some
gel
of
in
the black,
there.
put a little something. Can I come? Let me make an appointment for color next time around.
When my dad used to cut people's hair like Sam Abdullah,
Yeah.
they'd call up and say, I need some shoe polish.
Yeah.
A little
Right.
shoe polish in my hair.
Oh,
I put a little gel in there.
That's fine. I put a little gel in it myself from time to time. Tommy, I can't thank you enough, man.
It's been a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed it.
have.
It was insightful and effortless and enjoyable, and it's a comfortable chair too. I should get some of these for the house.
You know, I'm gonna quote the old basketball coach at North Carolina, Jim Valvano. Never give up. Never give up. We gotta keep on trying and keep it going. Just keep it going, and that's what we have to do. Don't ever give up. You know, and I think a lot of people need to laugh. They need to cry. They need to smile. And if you do that, you got a full day. And have a glass of bourbon at the end of the night.
There you go. Whiskey Business, my friends, is a Never the Luck production. Produced on the audio side by Greg Hansberry, who's got a little more business to close it up with.
Real quick, Tommy, why don't you give us the hours of operations if anyone wants to pop in here?
We are here 6 days a week. I could be here anytime from 7 o'clock in the morning till 5:30, 6 o'clock at night.
Walk-ins, or we got to make an appointment?
Right now, we're going appointments.
All right.
We used to be walk-ins.
All right.
3 chairs, no waiting. That's the name of this podcast.
Same day service.
669 North High.
669 High Street,
High
Worthington,
Street.
right in the heart of Old
That's
Worthington.
it. All right.
The phone number for the barbershop
ahead.
is 614-431-8924. And my cell phone number is that okay?
No, it's up to you. You want people calling your cell phone.
Yeah, right. It's all right with us.
614-634-2144.
There you go. Call
Like
Tommy.
Guido Giletti. Call anytime. You won't be turned down. Second mortgages anytime.
And of course, on the video side, we're making this place, bringing this into your computers or your big screen TVs. John Whitney, where's that thumb, Johnny? Come on.
Let's give him a big
The
hand.
big thumb. The thumb that's launched 1,000 videos.
I did pretty well tonight. Only one accident.
You did good. And of course, Tommy, thank you, man.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's been a
God bless. And I said
God bless.
God bless. Well, who am I going to say?
God bless. God bless.
God bless.
God bless America. Say your prayers, pal. Wash your hands, comb your hair.
The guest bottle has been Tom Foolery out of Cleveland, Ohio, technically Burton, Ohio. Nice job up there. I'm not kidding. You get to keep that bottle.
Thank
all
you.
right?
Thank
So keep it here for special occasions just like this.
Medicinal purposes
Medicinal
only.
purpose. Don't put any combs in it. Until the next bottle, my friends. See ya.
Cheers.